Welcome back to Sunday Sound Off and our first hot topic of the night. What are your thoughts on Mizzou's coaching search? Interviewed Temple's Matt Rule in Philadelphia today. Blair, they aiming a little bit too low? They're going to have to settle for an AAC coach or a MAC coach? Or
Well, it depends on how you define low or high. I mean, if Matt Rule's not good enough, he's having a terrific year at Temple. I guess that means that that we would only accept a sitting coach at an FBS Power 5 conference school. And we were getting rumors to that effect in the last couple of weeks with Les Miles. If LSU was going to discard him, would he come to Missouri? And we know that's not going to happen now. Think about how much the world has changed in the last 15 years. I can remember when Gary Pinkel was hired at Missouri from Toledo, and people thought, okay, that's an okay hire. He's from Toledo, a MAC school, coming off a season in which Toledo had beaten Penn State. That was the big win for Toledo that year, and that seemed to be okay. And of course, Gary Pinkel in 15 years, I thought did an excellent job at Missouri. Well, now Missouri in the SEC, paying its coach $4 million, with an athletic budget somewhere north of 85 million. It's almost like no, they're not going to the MAC for a head coach. The perception is they better go after big game hunting on this coaching search.
All right, Sam, what do you think?
I think Missouri has a lot to sell. I think that's a program that's made a lot of strides, and Gary Pinkel will forever be loved in Columbia for that. One thing that they have working against them, though, I think, is that this is a bad year to be looking for a coach if you're on that top level. You've got Georgia, USC, South Carolina, Miami. I mean, those are a lot of power programs that are also looking for coaches now. So Missouri's in a competitive environment. If I were them, I'd look hard at Mark Richt, see if he would take the call. But if not, I think that you could do a lot worse than Barry Odom. I think that the continuity has served them well over the last decade and a half, and I think they could do a lot worse than the guy that they have on staff right now.
And, Seren, you always have a lot to say about this subject. What are your thoughts here, buddy?
I was frustrated with the hire that Missouri made in basketball because I think it was for all the wrong reasons. I mean, maybe mending an old fence with Kim Anderson, and it also was cheap. And let's be honest, that's my fear here, is that you're going to see a coach hired for $1.2, $1.3 million when the going rate in the SEC is 2.5 and up. I mean, Gary Pinkel was at 4. And, look, time's going to tell whether or not they hire the right coach. And I'm still haunted by some of the words of Gary Pinkel going out the door where he said, okay, yeah, we've come to this level and we want to now go there. But keep in mind the things that are going on in that south end zone, they got to keep going on. It was almost like he was sounding a warning that all of a sudden all the money's drying up and they think like it's okay. And so I'm concerned that they just won't pay the money for the top coach. We'll see. Going to Temple's fine. I'd like a coach with head coaching experience already on his resume, though.
All right, and here's our second hot topic of the evening. Since all the principals who were involved in the MU departure to the SEC are basically gone from campus, will KU cave and schedule MU again? Sam?
I would love this if it happened. I would be shocked if this happened. I used to be fully on board that, give it 5 years and, water under the bridge. People would grow up and get past hurt feelings. But I just don't think that that's the case. The more I talk to people about this, the less I think this is a possibility. It goes way beyond anything about Lou Perkins or Mike Alden or anything else. I mean, there are some deep, deep hurt feelings. Offense. I mean, they may play at some point, but it's going to take people more than people retiring. It's going to take people being dead.
I don't know about dead, but I think Bill Self's. Look, basketball is the one that can fit it in schedule-wise. Bill Self has no interest in it. It doesn't help him recruiting-wise. I think until he caves, it's not going to happen.
Blair?
That's right. It's not going to happen. Not as long as Bill Self is the basketball coach and Shane Zinger's the athletic director at Kansas. Frank, you opened this by saying, now some of the principals are gone, but it's not the right principals. It's on the Kansas side. It's not the Missouri side. The border war, at least in football and men's basketball, will not return anytime soon.
All right, Seren, we don't have much time here. Let's try to get as much in on this as we can. One and done rule in college basketball. I think it's a terrible rule. Your thoughts?
Because you're old, Frank. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, you at least get to see guys like Sheck Diallo play for 1 year. I don't understand what the problem is. Why is there a problem here? Plenty of teams are still competing for national championships. I just don't see what's wrong with it.
Blair?
Hey, Kentucky's made it work, but keep in mind, Frank, this is not a college basketball rule.
It's NBA.
It's the NBA rule,
right.
And you know, we'll see in a couple years whether when the NBA Players Association collective bargaining agreement comes up for renegotiation in 2017, if it continues or not. I think we're going to see it eventually go to 20 and under.
Right. Sam?
I like it better than the old rule. I like it better than guys going straight from high school to college. I think that, from high school to the NBA. I think that it would make the NBA and college better to make it 2 and done, which is what Blair's talking about with the 20 and under. But, you know, that takes the Players Association in the NBA and a lot of other things. In the meantime, I think that on the college level, they can make it worth some guys' while to stay in college for another year.
Yeah, they're paying him now. We'll see how much more they're going to pay him. We'll find out. Coming up next, we're going to get some final thoughts from the panel. It's their time to sound off on anything that's on their minds. You're watching Sunday Sound Off.